Hey, how's it going, guys? Your friend Jim here with another video. In this video, we're gonna do a couple of things to our new Montero. Well, new to us. It's a 2006 Montero that I purchased recently. Here it is right here. There she is. It's almost like a blue grayish color. I really like this color. I believe it's unique to 2006, but it's got the same engine, 3.8 liter engine. When it's in really good condition. When I first got it, it did have a P0300 code, but it was still drivable. I drove it from Sacramento to Los Angeles, and the person that sold it to me, I guess he thought that the engine needed to be rebuilt. It ended up being that the timing was off on the passenger side camshaft, and it's very simple. I'll show you once we take the stuff apart. I'll show you how I checked it, how I inspected that to learn that it was off time. So basically, we're gonna get this off. We're also gonna, I'll show you how to inspect the timing belt. If you think you're not sure if they did a timing belt or not, you can remove the top of these three bolts here and you can inspect the timing belt. You can also, and I'll show you a little bit clearer once we get stuff off of here, you can put the crankshaft in top dead center, and then there's a little inspection window right here. Little inspection window. You take this little cover off and you can see the timing mark if it's aligned properly or not, and we'll go through that. Also, in this Montero, we are going to replace the fan shroud. As you can see, it's missing. You're not supposed to be able to see the fan from here, and then it's kind of messed up here as well. Also here between the condenser and the radiator, it's going to have like a foam so that when your fan is running, the air is diverted properly through. So we're gonna get into those items on this Montero, and we will go from there. All right, let's get set up here. Also, these mass airflow sensors are a little bit sensitive, so when you're working on it and you leave this outside, some of the dust and the dew that might get in there, it might give you a code when you put everything back together and you start it all up, until it kind of like that lint or whatever goes away. So I like to put it in a plastic bag to prevent that from happening. You gotta drain out the water. I have a little bucket right here, and basically it's got this little hose down here, and you just loosen this plug and then it should start draining water out. You don't have to take it off all the way, just enough until water starts dripping out. Should have more water coming out of there. There we go. So now it's coming out. So I'll just let it drain out there. So we take these guys off. And then we have to get the hoses off, and also transmission hoses at the bottom. Alright guys, so now we are in the process of cleaning the side of the condenser here. We're gonna clean the old kind of residue that it had here from the piece of foam from factory. We're gonna clean it. We're gonna put a brand new piece of foam all around the perimeter of the condenser, and that's gonna close the gap between the radiator and the condenser. And basically what happens is it makes, when your fans come on or when the air is flowing, it makes the air flow more thoroughly through the condenser and the radiator, rather than sneaking up from the sides or from the top and then going through just the radiator. It makes things more efficient. That's the way it was from factory, and we're just returning things back to how it was from the factory. So let's keep going here. All right, guys, so we had some technical difficulties, maybe user error, I don't know, but we were not able to get this on film. But we did get a couple of good pictures. Take a look. So the bottom picture that you're looking at here is the crankshaft pulley. Crankshaft pulley, if you could take a look at that little white mark, it has a like I said, it's got a little mark there, and you align that with that scale that's on the engine, and you align it up with a T. As you can see, there's a T right there. If you go to the left, there's a 10 and there's a 20. Those are degrees before top dead center. So you put it on the T, and that lets you know that you're on top dead center. You know, you could be on the exhaust stroke. If you're on the exhaust stroke, you're not going to see the timing mark on the top picture. But if you're on the compression stroke, you're going to see the timing mark on the top picture there. Now, when you're turning the crankshaft pulley, you use a obviously I had the radiator out, I had the fan shroud out, and it's very simple to turn. You use a 22 socket and you turn it clockwise. Always turn your engine clockwise. If you pay attention to the top picture, once you're at top dead center compression stroke, we have our timing mark right there, and there's that little inspection window that's built into the timing cover on the passenger side. You remove the little metal cover on there, and you can actually see the timing mark on the sprocket. And the timing cover has a sort of a little replica of where the timing should be, and then you make sure it's aligned with the mark on the sprocket. When, as I mentioned earlier, when I first bought this Montero, I did this inspection, and it was not aligned. It was about a tooth off, and that was the only issue with this vehicle. The main issue with this vehicle. So yeah. So now that we went through how to check the timing by putting the engine in top dead center, compression stroke over here, and then by using this little inspection window, the other thing you want to do when you buy a Montero is you want to check the condition of the timing belt. You really don't want to go with too many miles on these timing belts, because if they snap off, there goes your engine. In order for you to do a visual inspection on the timing belt, you have to remove these 3 bolts on the passenger side cover, and then you can pull the cover back a little bit like this, so you can visually inspect the belt, and you can see the belt. Yeah, good idea, sir. And you can see the belt right there. This belt is not new, but it's also not that old. A lot of times you want to see if you have little tiny cracks on the rubber, that indicates that this belt needs to be replaced. This one is okay. I know that it's only maybe like 10 or 20,000 miles old, so I know that it's not that old. However, the guy, as I mentioned earlier, the guy that installed it, he didn't do it correctly, and he had the camshaft on the passenger side 1 tooth off, and that was causing a P0300 and some drivability issues. However, it ran okay on the highway. I drove it all the way back from Sacramento, and it drove perfect. So there you go, guys. All right, let's move on to the next step. We're gonna put the piece of foam down here around the condenser, and then put the radiator back on there. As we have the radiator outside, it doesn't hurt to put it down and just run it with the water hose to push all the gunk out, all the crap that it collects over the years. All right, guys, so we're just getting everything wrapped up. We're putting the transmission hoses back underneath the radiator. We got the fan shroud in there. We got radiator back in there, and as I had mentioned before, here's a piece of foam As you can see, we have the ones on the side here. Once this foam expands, it's going to expand to 1 inch, so this gap is going to be completely covered, and there's going to be a little bit of more support here for the radiator, so this movement is going to be very minimal. And the whole purpose of doing this is to get a new, we've got a different fan shroud. The original fan shroud was broken, as I showed earlier. All right guys, so this is the foam that I'm talking about. This is my other Montero. So we got the foam here, as you can see, around the perimeter of the condenser. It originally from factory, like I mentioned before, they come this way, but over the years, obviously 20-year-old vehicle, this thing falls off over the years, so you have to get that foam from Home Depot. And when you first put it on, it's only a 1/4 inch thick, and over time it expands to 1 inch, like right here. And every time you have the radiator off, if this is missing, make sure you get that on there, just so it can be a little more efficient, so it can function a little more efficient. All right. So yeah guys, I really hope you like this video. Again, the important takeaways from this video is, when you buy a Montero and you want to take a look at the timing, or if you have a P0300, some drivability issues, and you suspect it's the timing, there's a way to check it on the Montero with that little window there. And also remove those 3 bolts and you can actually check the physical condition of the timing belt. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some coolant and some transmission fluid and take it for a little test drive, just to make sure everything is a-okay. Oh, by the way, this is the material that I use to put around the condenser. It's this stuff you get it at Home Depot or Lowe's. So there you go. All right guys, so we got everything back together. Here's a Montero. My son took it for a little test drive just to make sure everything's okay. There's a little squeaking there. I think it's just because of the water, but we're gonna keep checking it out. So that concludes the video guys. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. That squeaking noise, that was just water in there. It's not a big deal really. It went away after a couple minutes. If you made it this far, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. I know it's not a long video, but still, you know, helps me out a little bit. Anyway, now that the Mitsubishi Montero channel has 2 Monteros, we'll have the more opportunities to make more content. So yeah, anyway, I hope that you guys got something out of this video, at least how to check the timing belt and, you know, the timing marks. So please leave me a comment, let me know what you thought, let me know if you have any questions. I'll gladly answer them. So yeah, see you on the next one. Thank you, greatly appreciate you guys. See ya.